This tiny, clever aluminium box has just replaced the home server I've literally just built. This is a ZimaBoard 2 with its N150 4-core CPU, 16GB of LP DDR5 RAM. It's really punching above its weight. It turned out to be more powerful and far more useful than I was expecting. And unlike something like a Raspberry Pi, this is x86, so under the hood it's basically just a tiny PC, rather than just an SPC toy. Recently, I built my own home server using some fairly modest PC parts I had laying around. Nothing crazy, just something to run a few apps on and store some data on. I was right in the middle of setting it all up when Ice Whale reached out and asked if I wanted to take a look at the ZimaBoard 2. And as I'm sure you can tell, I said yes. So to be clear, Ice Whale sent me the ZimaBoard 2 and all the accessories you see in this video, minus the hard drives. They did give me a discount code, which I'll put in the description for anyone who's interested, but they've got no input over the content of this video, what I say, what I test, or what I think. Everything here is based on my own experience using it. I'd heard about the ZimaBoard before, and likely, like a lot of you, I'd seen a few tech tubers mention them, but I didn't really know what to expect. And once I knew it was coming, I actively avoided watching any videos on it just because I didn't want to have my opinion skewed by others. So what did they actually send me? The 16GB ZimaBoard 2, this rather lovely dual NVMe M.2 SSD adapter, a 2-bay hard drive rack for 3.5-inch drives, and a mini display board to HDMI adapter. The board itself comes in this nicely packaged and presented box, simple cardboard, but with this striking orange band around it. And the box doubles as a starter mounting kit, with space for two 2.5-inch drives, which is a nice little touch. Port-wise, it has 2 SATA ports, 2 2.5GB Ethernet ports, 1 mini display port, but the cherry on top is its PCIe Gen 4 slot, which means you can throw in NICs, storage cards, and even a GPU if you really wanted to. But really, the first thing I noticed after the striking orange strap was just how heavy this thing feels. Solid and well constructed. It very much has a premium feel and finish to it. And premium products come at a cost. This one, a fairly hefty $349, which works out around £260 at the time of filming. But when you compare that to a Pi 5 16GB, that will set you back £290 at the time of filming this. So the ZimaBoard 2's pricing is looking more appealing. And now of course, it's not really a fair comparison. The Pi 5 and the ZimaBoard 2 aren't really doing the same thing, or trying to. With everything now unboxed, I can screw the board down to the rack, fit the PCIe cable, do some test fitting and have a general look around. I then fit my 4TB hard drive, and just to be difficult, I want to use this 2.5-inch hard drive, which naturally doesn't fit the larger 3.5-inch slot. So I'm going to design a tray adapter. First thing is to take some dimensions and notes. And after double checking I've got everything measured, it's time to jump into Fusion. I want the 2.5-inch hard drive to stick out the front the same amount as the 3.5-inch disc. I'll be using heated inserts, so I need to make the walls at least 5mm thick for that part. And of course, we've got to have a honeycomb pattern. I won't be able to use the supplied hardware for mounting the smaller disc, so I'll 3D print something similar to maintain the look. So this is what I'm going with. 3D print it in black. Check it fits, which it does. Fit the heated inserts. Burn my finger. Fit the 2.5-inch hard drive. Screw the sides on and we can call that success. After that, I hook everything up. And it's worth noting here, the ZimaBoard 2 can power two 3.5-inch hard drives. And now we're ready to get on with testing it out. Before we get into the software side of things, I should probably say this. When Icewhale reached out to me, I fully expected just to wipe this off their OS, install headless Debian, and then set up OpenMediaVault. Because, in all honesty, I didn't expect much of their OS. But I was, let's just say, pleasantly surprised. ZimaOS, which is Icewhale's own operating system, comes pre-installed on the ZimaBoard 2. It's actually really good. It gives me all the apps I wanted, has pretty decent backup features, and it's genuinely intuitive to use. It's not perfect, there are a few quirks here and there, and my main gripe being it's not open source. But Icewhale do have a more open alternative called CasaOS, which I've dabbled with in the past. It's just not quite as feature rich. That said, I did still manage to get Arch and Linux Mint running on here as well, just not the conventional way. Once everything's plugged in and powered on, you're greeted with this screen, which basically just tells you to head to the IP address listed here to access the ZimaBoard. So over to my PC, I bash in the IP, English, UK, thank you very much, create a local account, and we're in. Straight away, you're greeted with this really clean, nicely laid out interface. And like I said earlier, I've deliberately not looked at ZimaOS beforehand, so this is my first impression. First thing I check, storage. 2 hard drives, 2 NVMe SSDs, all showing up exactly as they should be. So I go ahead and format each disk. And then if we jump over to File Manager, you can see everything's mounted and available on the left, which is a good sign. It's so nice when things just work. Next up, the App Store. Jellyfin, Plex, QBitTorrent, Pi-hole, Nextcloud, VaultWarden, Tailscale, Portainer, Radar, Sonar, and there's really a pretty extensive list of apps. The App Store is basically Docker. Docker without the usual Docker aggro. It's pretty nice. Each app has its own little info page as well, which is a really nice touch. Next up, how easy is it to set up a network share? Turns out, very bloody easy. Head to Shared in the top left, hit the 3 dots on the drive you want, Manage Share, copy the address, add a network location on your PC, paste it in, and just like that, network drive. Nice and simple. Quick test, drop a file in, refresh, and it's there. Again, I love it when things just work. Now, backups. At this point, I had absolutely no idea how backups work on this operating system, so let's figure that out. I set one of my 500GB NVMe's to back up onto my 4TB hard drive. Although, I was expecting some kind of schedule or timing option, which I couldn't find. So naturally, I wanted to see what was actually happening. I dropped a few files onto the NVMe, and a few seconds later, they showed up on the hard drive as well. So it looks like it's doing some kind of near real-time sync as to a scheduled backup. Moving on, the next bit kind of shocked me. It has a pre-built-in virtual machine section. So naturally, I downloaded the Linux Mint because, as we all know, GOAT distro. And then of course, Arch, so I can remember my now gone T480. Up until now, it's been plain sailing. But like most things in tech, it's not perfect. There's a few things worth pointing out. First up, there's no built-in Wi-Fi. And really, for a proper server, that's not the end of the world. You should be using Ethernet anyway. But for initial setup or quick testing, it would be really nice to have. The next one, the power supply plug isn't great. It feels a bit cheap, which is a shame considering how premium everything else is. It does its job, but it feels like one badly placed foot and it's game over. And the backup system, while it works, It's not entirely clear what's going on under the hood. I'm sure there'll be some documentation somewhere explaining it, but it would be nice to have that front and centre. So, has it actually replaced my newly built home server? Yep. No gimmick for the video either. I'm genuinely using this. It's not perfect, but for what it is, a compact, low power, ridiculously easy to use home server, it's kind of hard not to recommend it. Especially if you don't want to spend your weekends fighting configs or Docker, like I spend a lot of my time doing. It genuinely feels like if Docker and a NAS had a baby, that actually just works. And just as a reminder, there is a discount code down in the description, so check it out if you're interested. Thanks for watching. Joe.